Welcome to the Candidate Forum for the Warrenville Park District, sponsored by the League of Women Voters of Wheaton. My name is Barb Lymans, a member of the League of Women Voters of Wheaton and your moderator this evening. I live in West Chicago, so I will not be voting for any of the candidates participating in the forums this evening. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that neither supports nor opposes candidates or parties for any office. The League's purpose is to promote civic responsibility through the informed and active participation of citizens in government and civil civic discourse. Providing forums is a major mission of the League of Women Voters so citizens can become better informed about the issues facing their community and to become better acquainted with the candidates running for office. The format for tonight is a forum, not a debate. Candidates are expected to accurately represent the facts, and their responses reflect their own views and opinions. The candidates have agreed to abide by the rules set forth prior to this forum, and all candidates attending tonight have signed and returned the ground rules by the deadline established in the invitation. These rules apply to specific format, time limits, broadcasting of the forum, and other rules related to the conduct of the forum. The candidates will begin in alphabetical order with their 1-minute opening statement. They will then alternate the order in which they answer questions for 1 minute. After the question portion of the forum, each candidate will give a 1-minute closing statement. Members of the League will be acting as timers, and I will enforce the time limits. Should a candidate exceed the time limit, I will gently ask them to finish their sentence and move on to the next candidate. The timers for the candidates, so that you know, are in the back of the room, and they will hold up a paddle that says, "Stop" when your minute is up. But you'll get some warnings. Members of the League, we have received a multitude of questions from the community in advance of tonight's forum, and to ensure that questions represent a balance of topics, a panel of experienced members of the League of Women Voters have reviewed the questions submitted for appropriateness, applicable to all candidates, and to avoid duplication. We will do our best to read each question asked within the time frame allotted in tonight's forum. If you should have a question, please just raise your hand and a volunteer will come and collect your card to be submitted to me for reading. We are grateful to those in the community who take the time to learn more about the candidates before casting their vote by attending or watching candidate forums. For those in attendance this evening, we ask that you listen attentively, turn off your phones and electronic devices, avoid commenting and disrupting others during the forum, and refrain from applause until the end. And finally, I want to say how appreciative we are to the candidates who are not only willing to serve in office, but who have agreed to be here tonight to share their ideas and goals. So let's get started and hear from the Warrenville Park District candidates, Tina Coons, Jeannie Dina, Mike Mahowski, and Colin Wilkie. So candidate Coons, you have 1 minute for your opening statement.
Good evening. My name is Tina Coons, and I've been, a Warrenville Park District Commissioner since 2017, and I'm looking for your help to get reelected for my 3rd term. Here's a few tidbits about myself. I grew up in Central Illinois, where I met my husband, Ted. We moved from Peoria to Aurora, and where our son, Jeff, was born. We moved out of the state and decided to return to Illinois, where we felt most at home. Warrenville has became our sight unseen chosen destination. Since moving to Warrenville, we've learned how strong the community it really is. Great schools, inspired city, government, amazing park district and programs. One of our family core values is volunteering, and I've had the privilege to volunteer with a few organizations: the school district, the museum guild, the Warrenville Tavern, Discoveries Resale, Outreach, National Night Out, and the Park District. In 2022, the Illinois Association of Park Districts honored me with the level of distinctive board member, and in 2023, I received Master Board Member Award from the same organization.
Thank you so much. Candidate Dina.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jeannie Dina, and I have lived in Warrenville with my husband, Andy, since 2019. I am honored to stand here today as a candidate for the Park District Commissioner Board. I currently have 3 boys. 2 are married, 1 lives in Warrenville, and 2 grandchildren. I work at the 4th largest school district in the state of Illinois as the Assistant Director of Community Relations, and I am involved in a lot of different organizations such as Rotary, Kiwanis. I'm a St. Irene parishioner and a Eucharistic minister, and I am on the collaborative youth team for Kids Matter Board in Naperville. Our parks and recreational spaces play a crucial role in our community, providing places for families to gather, children to play, and individuals to connect with nature. As someone who deeply values the health, well-being, and vibrancy of this community, I am committed to ensuring that these spaces remain accessible, sustainable, and inclusive for all.
Thank you. Candidate Mahowski.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Mahowski. I've had the privilege to call Warrenville home for the last 18 years. I'm deeply committed to serving our community. I was elected to the board back in April of 2020. I look forward to continue to serve the people of Warrenville and ask for your support.
Candidate Wilkie, your 1-minute opening statement.
All righty. My name is Colin Wilkie. I've lived in Warrenville for 17 years. I've been a commissioner for 16 years. I became a Warrenville Park District Commissioner because I have a passion for the community. I have done this by being a Park District Commissioner, also on the board of the Warrenville Friends of the Fourth Committee as its director, and the Warrenville Historical Society. My love for Warrenville began long before I lived here. I worked for School District 200 for 30 years, and prior to that, my wife was a teacher for 35 years. So I got the rare experience of experiencing the old Wheaton Central before it was torn down to make a grocery store. Again, thank you for having this forum today.
Thank you. Well, the first question will begin with candidate Dinah. What experience or qualifications make you a strong candidate for the Park District Board?
So working at Indian Prairie School District, I was the executive director for the superintendent. So my role, one of my roles in that, I was on the Board of Education as a secretary. So I know very well how it is to run meetings, to know a policy, to be part of that board. So I know how to work collaboratively with others, work together as a team. Also, being on Rotary, Kiwanis, I love to volunteer. I love to be part of the community. So I have a lot of experience working with others, working with other organizations, and just I want to be able to support the staff of the Warrenville Park District because I feel like they do such an amazing job and really bring the community together.
Thank you. Same question for you, candidate Makowski.
Can you
Sure.
repeat the question?
What experience or qualifications make you a strong candidate for the Park District Board?
Well, the last 4 years serving on the board obviously gives me experience. I'm also dedicated to continuing my service, listening, collaboratively working with board members, you folks as citizens, to hear what your concerns and wants are and bring them to the board and work together to make sure that we can make everyone happy and continually work on improving the parks.
Thank you. Candidate Wilkie?
Well, I bring with me 44 years of facilities knowledge and accreditations as a certified professional maintenance manager and a certified professional supervisor. I have served on the Park District Board, as I said, for 16 years in every role as president, vice president, and treasurer. I have earned the title of Master Board Member, the highest recommendation that the Illinois Association of Park Districts can give. I have been involved in dozens of professional sessions and workshops and have taken transparency and co-legally at the state and national level sessions. I am also a member of the IAPD Session Planning Committee and have been a session moderator at the state level for several years. I pride myself on my honesty and diligence and with my colleagues and the community, and I promote that belief in every action I take on behalf of the Park District Board.
Thank you. Candidate Coons, what experience or qualifications make you a strong candidate for the Park District Board?
Well, I've been a park commissioner for 8 years now, and I will tell you that that is probably one of the highest honors that I feel that I can serve the community. I also have served on the board for Discovery's resale shop here in town, and I do continually try to educate myself by going to conferences, going to events, being out in the public, and also listening to the other entities, the police department, the fire department, and work in the city, working with them.
Thank you. Candidate Mahowski, the next question will begin with you. How do you plan to ensure financial responsibility while improving Park District programs and facilities?
Great question. Obviously, being involved, making sure that the Park District's fiscally responsible, reviewing our board packets. We have a great person in place at the Park District to make sure our fiscal responsibility and just oversight and being there, asking the questions that need to be asked, hard or easy, to get the answers and collectively work together with the rest of the board.
Candidate Wilkie?
Well, this is a very exciting time for the Park District right now. The reason being that we've been given several grants, and we are on the cusp of acquiring Cerny Park from the city in 2027, an excellent opportunity to bring new community experiences, including a better playground area, an outdoor pickleball courts, and a splash pad. Everybody go, ah, ah. As a board member, I have been part of the group that planned and implemented the initiative and look forward to its completion. Partnerships make good sense in this economic climate. I would like the Park District to consider additional relationships with community organizations, including Community School Unit District 200 for the Woodland property, and also the DuPage Forest Preserve to expand the possibilities and programs for all of our residents.
Thank you. Candidate Coons?
I think cultivating positive relationships with people, not only in our community, but with other park districts and businesses, to bring them to the Park District to highlight everything that the Park District has to offer, and to help bring sponsorships from other businesses to help the Park District grow.
Great. And Candidate Dinah?
So I feel that having good problem solvers, communicators, leaders who are dedicating to making parks a valuable resource to the community and working together as a team, like Tina had said, building partnerships. That's one of my jobs that I do with the school district. That's so important to make programming a success, and just building those great relationships with the community, with the city, and with also, like Colin said, with the school district. It's important to have all those good relationships throughout. That's where success comes from for the Park District.
Great. Next question, Candidate Wilkie. How would you prioritize spending between maintenance of existing facilities and the development of new projects?
Well, I would say that maintenance of new facilities, of current facilities, is extremely important. You don't want to have anything fall into disrepair. I know that we've got a very strong maintenance program going on right now. We look ahead. We did green initiatives before green initiatives were good. We've gone with LED lighting. We've gone with new roofs. We've actually gone ahead and put a generator in so we can be a warming center for the community if necessary. Not even the police department has a generator that can be used as a warming facility. So we're looking at what we have, but we're also looking forward. As Cerny Park matures, there should be other areas that we can take a look at. I know that it would be wonderful to get some more land and to make it productive, and there are possibilities even in our landlocked Warrenville community to do so.
Candidate Coons, how would you prioritize spending between maintenance of existing facilities and the development of new projects?
I will have to say that our park district and our parks crew are top-notch individuals regarding taking care of the maintenance and the responsibilities of the upkeep of not only our parks but our buildings. They are very diligently working to strive to make sure that things are taken care of on a timely basis. If things are getting run down, that they bring it to the board. And I think that those two things go hand in hand. So our parks crew deserves a lot of credit for that.
Thank you. Candidate Dinah.
Many park districts do face financial problems or limited funding, and I know Warrenville is top notch with that. They're really financially responsible. But if we ran into economic downturns or when tax revenue is tight or lower than expected, as a commissioner, we would need to prioritize community needs, like maintaining existing parks, developing new spaces, or offering programs, while also ensuring fiscal responsibility. So that's where I feel like we'd all have to work together.
And Candidate Mahowski.
Well, as far as the aspect of maintenance, maintenance is going to be ongoing, right? We do have, as all candidates say, Colin Wilkie did speak very well with answering the question. But it's going to be ongoing. As far as new developments, Colin did speak about Cerny Park, and the Park District worked extremely hard in obtaining a $600,000 grant. So that's, we're able to do Cerny Park in 2 phases, which is going to total about $1.2 million, which did not raise taxes for anyone. So to be fiscally responsible, that's one of the ways we have to do it. Grants. We have a great team at the Park District that work extremely hard to make sure we get all the grants that we can. And then obviously maintenance is ongoing. Again, we have a great staff. And we have to look at the parks, the outdated parks, parks that have ADA compliant issues. That's definitely in the future that we've already been discussing on the board.
Candidate Coons, new question. What are your top priorities for improving our local parks and recreational facilities?
I think just one of my top priorities would be to ensure that our parks are safe for everyone, our parks are well maintained, that our goal is to make sure that it's inclusive for everyone to be involved and to be able to go to them and see how wonderful each and every one of our parks are. So that's what my goal
Thanks.
would be.
Candidate Dinah.
So for me, my top 2 priorities are supporting the wonderful staff of the Warrenville Park District. They do such an amazing job with their programmings and everything they do for our parks. And so with that, I would want to make sure that they have the support they need to keep it up. Along with supporting the staff and programs, I will focus on building strong community partnerships, finding long-term funding, and improving our park facilities so we can continuing offer great experiences for the years to come. Also, I feel it's important to make sure parks and recreational programs are accessible to all community members, regardless of their age, ability, or background. This might include making ADA compliant parks, offering affordable programs, or creating space that serves diverse needs and interests. So that's very important to me. And I have a lot of experience with working with the school district that's very diverse.
Candidate Mahowski.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Sure. What are your top priorities for improving our local parks and recreational facilities?
Well, I think assessing all parks, which maintenance is constantly through those parks daily and weekly. We do as a board every year a parks tour on the little Warrenville Park District bus. It's fun. Someone always brings ice cream, so we have a good time. But it really gives us insight to see these parks. Everyone, I think, has mentioned ADA compliance. I mean, that's a big thing. Inclusion's a big thing, regardless of age. We want all of you, your children, grandchildren, neighbors, friends, family, all to be able to come and have a good time. And the parks that are outdated, we've got some work ahead of us that some parks need to be updated. Some talks that have already gone on at board meetings, with those parks that need to be improved. So it's on the horizon.
Thank you. Candidate Wilkie, your thoughts?
Well, I think acquisition of the parks right now, we have actually got Harding Field now from the city back to us. We have a gem of a park. It's called Plum Path Park. I don't know how many of you are familiar with that location. Go there. There's a swing. You can sit back there, relax. It's gorgeous. But we also have to look at new parks, actually expanding the park district to take on the responsibility of the 2,000 additional people that we have gotten in. We work very closely with WISRA. Some of you are familiar with that. That takes a look at needs within the community. And also, our staff are pretty much psychic. We had pickleball before anybody had pickleball. So Warrenville is where it started. I'm keeping that as my... And Puzzle Palooza, how many of you have gone to Puzzle Palooza? You got to go there. So we're on the cusp, we're on the cutting edge of making things much more enjoyable for the Warrenville community.
Boy, I never knew I was at the birthplace of pickleball.
I'm claiming that, yes, we're going to get a sign.
Remember, Colin Wilkie said that.
Candidate Dinah, can you just tell us some of any new ideas you have for new initiatives, recreational spaces, or upgrading existing ones now that pickleball's been claimed? Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited if I were to be elected to be part of the brand new Cerny Park. I'm really excited about that. Just living here for 5 years, I will tell you that we lived in Naperville, and coming here to Warrenville, the small town in the Park District, it blows Naperville's Park District away. I'll tell you, I love it. New ideas for parks. I'm really just being here for 5 years, just exploring all the parks that we have, and checking them all out and volunteering. So really, my biggest project is looking through all the parks, learning more about them, and really getting involved with that big project with Cerny Park.
Candidate Mahowski.
Last year we did our strategic master plan. So we had all the parks evaluated and rated and what kind of condition they are, what they do offer the community. So that's for the next 5 years. So we look at that every year and set our goals, budgets accordingly. But definitely the ones that need some ADA compliance updating, the oldest parks that we would be redoing first would be top of my priority.
Candidate Wilkie.
We have interdistrict agreements with several different community and also the school district. I think there's a possibility within the next 5 to 10 years that Woodland might be able to be adopted by the Park District, depending on what the school district wants to do with it. At the present time, there doesn't seem to be a real need for it. It will be reoccupied for a while. The other thing is that there's lots of different areas that could be utilized. There's the area right across the back of where the veterinarian offices are that is not used, that runs along the river. Programmable spaces can be placed back there. And I think that given the right connections and networking, stuff like that would be possible to create new space for the community.
Thank you. Candidate Coons.
Well, as everyone knows, Cerny Park is the buzzword right now. Everyone is so excited. In May, the groundbreaking is going to start, so it's going to be very exciting in the next 2 years to finally see what Cerny Park is going to look like when it's done. One of my goals would be for everyone to see all of our parks and participate in what each park has to offer and the programs that it has to offer. There's Lunchtime Live that's out there. There's a lot of different programs that are going on. And just to be able to bring people to our parks and, Woodland School, hopefully, maybe, somewhere down the road, the school district can, make an arrangement with us that we could take that over. And make our park district even a little bit better. Excuse me.
Thank you. Candidate Mahowski, we'll begin with you. Do you have any plans to improve the fitness center or expand the exercise classes that are offered? Do you think the current space is adequate, or does it need to be expanded?
I don't think there's any remodeling in the near future because we just finished that a few years back. But before I answer that, let me tell you a little bit about Fit Now, which we're really excited because it took a lot of thinking outside the box. The team at the Park District worked really, really hard in reorganizing how we staffed Fit Now. All right, that fitness center ran in the red for many, many, many years. It's now self-supporting itself, which is a huge excitement. All of us were excited at the last board meeting. I think there definitely is room to grow over time where that might be. As Colin had talked about several different locations, that's something that's in my mind because I think we could make that Fit Now a little bit larger and offer more equipment. But getting the feedback from the community would be very helpful with that as well.
Candidate Wilkie.
One of the things I found, I go to the fitness center almost every day, is I came in early on a Saturday and somebody had the brawn to pull all the spin bikes outside. And everybody was exercising outside. And I thought, yeah, when the weather's good, we've got programming spaces that we can use in different areas. Why does it have to be a building during the summer? So there are opportunities, again, to take a look at different areas, whether that be something over at Woodland eventually, or something where we can, put out a few tents and have exercises outside. The community is only going to get bigger, and we've got to take a look and make sure that we can take care of the community.
Candidate Coons?
Yes, our community is getting bigger, but also people are also using fitness now a lot more than what it has been in the past. Our staff is marvelous about thinking outside the box. And that's one thing I love about our park district, is that they think of things to do that you normally wouldn't be able to do. I know that they offered a boot camp that was outside, and a number of different things like that. So they are, and we currently will be looking at ways to expand it just because of our growing community.
Thank you. Candidate Dinah.
So I know they had a great turnout for the Fitness Now open house. So that's a good sign that people are really interested in the fitness center. I would propose to the staff, if I were on the board, to look into trying to find a larger space if there is a need for the community and the residents. I feel like hearing your voice is very important. So I feel like if we proposed an idea like that, it's their job to look into it and to see if there may be a larger space, since there may be more interest in the fitness center. I did see the spin class outside on Saturday, not recent because it's been too cold, but I have seen that spin class outside. So I'm glad that the staff is looking into different ways to, serve the community.
Excellent. Thank you. Candidate Wilkie, an audience question. Much talk about development. What about protecting natural green spaces?
Well, I think we've done very well protecting the natural green spaces that we have here in Warrenville. The other great thing is that we've got the DuPage Forest Preserve that goes ahead and gives us an awful lot of green spaces. You can take trails all the way through Naperville, all the way through Wheaton. So there is quite a bit of green space. Again, what we're looking to do is to use these interdistrict agreements. Bauer, the baseball fields are maintained by the Park District. At Woodland, all the green space around the building is maintained by the Park District. So we are already maintaining those areas. How can we improve that? Well, we'll have to see, but it's definitely something on the Park District Board's mind.
Thank you. Candidate Coons?
The Park District has, and I will continue looking at green spaces and how to preserve them. One of the things that they did at Summer Lakes was that they took one of the spaces out there and they put a beehive out there. They do natural habitats of the flowers and things like that. So we do look at things like that. We do listen to the community when they are talking and telling us that they would like to see things like that. And so, when possible, we are providing those spaces.
Excellent. Thank you. Candidate Dana?
So I love green space. I walk my dog throughout Warrenville, all over the place. So I go in the forest preserves, and that's one of the reasons why we moved. Well, one reason we moved to Warrenville, but I love nature. So being on the board, I definitely would work with the staff board to see if there's more things we could do for green space. That's really all I could say about that right now.
Thank you. Candidate Mahowski?
I think Colin and Tina did answer some good answers there as well. Green space is included in the phasing of Cerny Park. That was very important. We did hold public forums for everyone to voice their opinions and come to those. I'll also, and you may hear me say it a few times tonight, everyone is always welcome to come and share their thoughts at our board meetings. We don't know unless we hear what you're thinking. So we always ask for that. But it is in the phasing plans for Cerny Park, and we do have existing green space. But if anyone has ideas, please come to a board meeting, share it with us, so we know, and we all could hear it.
Thank you. We'll begin with Candidate Coons for this question. You all have mentioned grants. Are there any concerns because of our current government climate to secure grants or federal funds in the future?
Our staff is very good about applying for grants and checking into them. There are some that we get, and there are some that we don't. I think their continued effort in how they strive about researching and making sure that they're talking to senators, congresspeople, to help them along the way. That's one great thing about our staff, that they leave no rock unturned. And so, it's always a concern for us because, it's something that we apply for, but it's never a given. And so, I will say that they do a great job with getting the grants that we do receive.
Thank you. Candidate Dinah?
So I don't have any concerns regarding grants, just because, like Tina had said, sometimes you get them and sometimes you don't. But I feel like the Park District has those partnerships with senators, with the local government, with the House representatives, senators, and they build those relationships that help get those grants. Same with partners such as Hancock Design for the Park District at Cerny Park. They work very closely with the design and the architects there who help with those grants for Cerny Park. So having those strong partnerships and building, and working with others, that's how you get the grants. And I don't have any. I know the staff's amazing, that they work really hard to try and get those grants. And I work with grants at the school district, so I understand what that's all about, trying to secure those grants. So building those partnerships really helps in getting those. So I don't have any concerns with the climate.
Thank you. Candidate Makowski?
Answer to your question, yes. I think we definitely should be active all the time with grants, and I think the Park District team does a great job. I'll share something that I learned at a board meeting, this last board meeting, and I can't remember where this grant came from, so I don't want to misspeak, but Tim Reinbold, our executive director, worked very, very hard for a year or two, tooth and nail, to get this grant, and he actually received a $400,000 grant. So we got a check at the Park District for that. So having the right leadership in place and the right board to continue this is what makes us fiscally responsible, and it makes our job as commissioners a little easier when we have a team that fights as hard as they do.
Thank you. Candidate Wilkie, your thoughts?
Well, lucky me, for 20 years, I wrote grants through FEMA for School District 200, so I'm pretty aware how the process works. It's laborious, it's tiring, but the Park District holds its own. As Mike said, the one day Tim got both grants in the same day, so he got over $1 million worth of grants for the Park District, and he had kept up on the one grant since the fitness center opened. So that was 4 years because COVID went ahead and kind of stopped everything in its tracks there for 2 years. The other thing is I try to stay close with the legislators. I am actually going to the legislative breakfast coming up on March 7th at the Carroll Stream Park District. And besides grants, I'm talking about minimum wage and some other items that I might bring before the legislators just to see where we're at with those.
Thank you. We have time for one more question. And the question is this. Several of you have already touched on it, but how will you encourage community engagement and input in Park District decisions? And we'll begin with candidate Dino.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Sure. How will you encourage community engagement and input on Park District decisions?
I feel like surveys or bringing the community together to hear their voice is very important. So I would ask the staff to bring that together. And I believe they already have a community advocacy group that comes in and voices so they can hear their voice at the Park District. So I think that's very important because you're the taxpayer and you want the programming. So we're here to support you in what you want for Parks and Rec.
Thank you. Candidate Mahowski, how will you encourage community engagement and input on Park District decisions?
Well, we have Sherry Potter on part of our team who does a great job with social engagement, putting things out there, getting feedback. We do have a young group that assesses programs and things like that. Feedback comes back to the board, and we discuss. But Survey Monkey, there's other things we could do more than we're doing, which we bring happily. And especially if there's, again, I'll say it again, public comments at our board meetings. If anyone has ideas, please come see us, come talk to us, and we could definitely continue to be the place to be.
Thank you. Candidate Wilkie.
Well, our 5-year plan I point to, it saturated the community. There was a lot of feedback. And we went through, different languages. We went through different means of giving us the information. It was very important that we got a full idea of what the community wanted. And I think that we've successfully gone ahead and started to look at those and move towards them. The splash pad, going to throw it in there again, was because most of the community wants a water feature. Now, can we afford a swimming pool in Warrenville right now? Not even the high schools can afford a swimming pool. So the only ones that can are the Wheaton Park District, but we'll leave it there. But yes, community feedback's important. Come to our meetings. Let us know what you think.
Candidate Coons.
I would also agree that coming to our meetings, talking to the Park District staff, talking to any of us who serve on the board. or any staff member. There's an open door policy, and we are here to serve the citizens of Warrenville and the surrounding communities, and to provide the events and the services that we do. We cannot do them if we don't hear what you guys need or what. We may not be able to accomplish all of them. We strive to do that. And, you know, without hearing from you guys, we cannot make the Park District better. And if it's not incumbent just on us to say this is what you guys need, we need to know what you need.
Thank you. Please join me in thanking the candidates for being here tonight. If you still have additional questions, I'm sure the candidates will make themselves available for your specific question. So now we have time for your closing statements, and we'll begin with candidate Mahowski. You have 1 minute for your closing statement.
I want to thank everyone for coming today. This is pretty impressive to see for the Park District. Our Park District board meetings are kind of a little boring because we don't have a lot of attendance, so this is great. But what I could tell you is my pledge, and I could promise to serve with integrity and respect, to listen to all voices inside our community, the citizens, board members, the team at the Park District, to continue to make Warrenville the place to be for generations to come. And I appreciate you again. Thank you.
Candidate Wilkie, your closing statement.
The Warrenville Park District is indeed the place to be for exceptional experiences, offering a wide range of events and programs. It is the best bang for your buck within Warrenville. And over the last 16 years, I've been proud to be a part of the fantastic resource for this community. With your help, the voters, I would appreciate being reelected as commissioner for 4 more years so that I can continue the successful mission, vision, and values that the Warrenville Park District brings to our community.
Thank you. Candidate Coons.
Thank you all for coming this evening. The expectation I have set for myself is to be fully committed to helping the Park District establishing policy for current and future challenges. To me, being a Warrenville Park District Commissioner means being present and prepared at board meetings, continue to expand my knowledge through workshops, conferences, and listening to the people in our community, volunteering, being respectful, making the Park District available to everyone, cultivating positive relationships. In closing, being a Warrenville Park District Commissioner makes me proud when others from neighboring communities share the enthusiasm for all that Warrenville has to offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Candidate Dinah, your closing statement.
So I'd like to thank you all for coming tonight, and I hope I earned your vote. I'm new, fairly new, since 2019, but I care very much about Warrenville. I care very much about the parks. I care very much about the people that the Park District serves, our community. So thank you all, and I hope to get to know every single one of you, and I just would like to be elected to the board to make a difference in Warrenville. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Our democracy thrives when all of us are engaged. Attending or watching a candidate forum is an excellent way to be empowered to join the discussions on local issues and to make your voice heard on Election Day. We hope each and every one of you will vote and inspire your family, friends, and neighbors to do the same. Information on how and when to vote can be found on the website vote411.org or on the Wheaton League of Women Voters website. So thank you all for coming, and thank you to the candidates, and best wishes on the campaign trail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.